Chichen Itza is a magnificent, beautiful archaeological site of the once mighty Mayan city in the Yucatan Peninsula. In this video, we will reveal 5 amazing secrets about this site you most likely do not know. We'll briefly tour the site and also give tips on planning your trip to Chichen Itza as well. New discoveries are always being unearthed in the area, providing even more insight into the culture and accomplishments of the Mayan people. It is a live archaeological site, meaning new things are discovered each year. Chichen Itza is divided in Old Chichen and Chichen Itza. You can find 6 Mayan ruins in the Old Chichen section and about 20 Mayan ruins in the New Chichen or Chichen Itza section, making it a total of 26 Mayan ruins to see at this site. The largest ruin on the site is a Kucocan Pyramid temple. Secret number 1. The Kucocan Pyramid is a calendar building with a temple on top. There are 91 steps on each side with 9 platforms. It's thought that this pyramid is the representation of the Mayan calendar. Each step is a day of the year, and since each side has 91 steps multiplied by 4 each side, that totals 364. If we add the top platform on which the temple rests, we get 365 days of the solar year. Many scholars believe the temple is designed to worship a sun god. To establish this idea further, if you see the pyramid on the side, the corners of its overlapping platforms adds up to 18, which are the months of the 20 days of the Mayan calendar. Secret number 2. The pyramid we see today is the 3rd layer of buildings, with a total of 3 structures that correspond to different time periods. The oldest was built between the years 500 and 800. Then a second one was built on top of it. The 3rd layer of building was built between 1050 to 1300. The Kucocan Pyramid Temple may have been built upon an even older complex that was known to the ancient Olmecs, who also knew that below the temple complex lies the lifeblood of man, water. Indeed, under the huge structure is an underground cenote, with an underground river system that reaches the accessible cenotes in the vicinity. Tourists cannot enter the subterranean buildings. In April of 1931, seeking to confirm the hypothesis that the structure of Kucocan Pyramid was built on an older pyramid, excavation and exploration work began. By doing this, they found a box with objects of coral, obsidian, and turquoise inlays next to unknown human remains. Then a figure of Shakmul was found inside the substructure's temple, with shells for nails, teeth, and eyes. The room where the discovery was made is now known as the Room of Offerings, or the North Chamber. Only a few feet away, a second enclosure called the Sacrificial Chamber was discovered, where more human bones are found. But all these names and ideas are just speculation. We still have no clue whatsoever of the meaning of any of the artifacts or the use of the site. What is interesting is one wall has several femurs and tibias from humans embedded in the walls in these boreholes. These bones are most likely those of royalty or of a priesthood and have sacred significance. The other side of this wall is known to be hollow. There's a room or something beyond it, and yet it hasn't been investigated. The roof structure also has boreholes, allowing perhaps maybe water or air to flow through. The inner chambers are built with larger stones, cut with better precision, even though this part of the structure is said to be much older. Some stones appear to be several tons and would need significant engineering and construction methods to be erected. Secret number 3. This next secret really makes archaeologists scratch their heads. The origin of some of the material used to build the pyramid temple is not from this area. and not even from the Yucatan Peninsula. Mica, a type of stone and mineral, can only be found about 3,200 kilometers away in present-day Brazil. How would they have carried or transported all that stone from Brazil to the Yucatan, especially since they did not have any domesticated animals to haul the rock, nor have said to be in use of the wheel or invented the wheel? No one knows for certain how the rock was delivered the 3,200 kilometers across dense jungles, through riverbeds, and through mountains and marshlands. But it is part of the mystery and the magic that Chichen Itza holds. Other ancient buildings have raised the same questions, and that only makes historians wonder more and more about the similarity of civilizations around the world. Secret number 4. It's not entirely Mayan. As we mentioned before, Chichen Itza was built in different phases throughout history. The ancient past suggests the Olmecs most likely knew about the site and considered it sacred. Next is the pre-classic period, and then later period before the Spanish conquest. The pre-classic period was most likely influenced by the Mayans, so the first phase of these buildings here are attributed to them. Due to invasions throughout the centuries, Toltecs took over, and in the 10th century, and this is most likely their influence that they had on some of these buildings, and they probably changed Chichen Itza quite a bit. Secret number 5. It's not perfectly aligned. An interesting fact is that the Kucocan temple is not perfectly aligned in the center. On the top of the main staircase, there's a bigger space between the last step and the wall. If you look at it from the west side, you will notice how the door isn't aligned with the temple and the top niche, but it is aligned with the staircase. Now, we know the Mayans were scientifically inclined and were advanced in mathematics and architectural achievements, so why the mistake? First, we must understand that we perceive it as an error. However, it is hard to imagine that the Mayans, who possessed a high degree of knowledge, messed up their most important temple. This misalignment, therefore, is purposeful. Comment below if you know the reason why this strange anomaly exists. If you were surprised by any of these secrets and you learned something new, give us a like and consider subscribing. It will help the channel, and I really thank you. Now, let's take a short tour around Chichen Itza, and we'll give you tips and information to help you out, so that way you can visit the site and explore it on your own. There might even be some additional secrets we reveal throughout this video. Now, one of the first things you probably want to visit is the ball court. The Mayans had about 10 ball games they played, with one of the most popular called Puk ta Puk, where teams would use their bodies to keep a ball off the ground and thrown into a hoop. It used not only physical strength, but also included sticks, similar to cricket or a game of hockey. The ball court at Chichen Itza is not only the largest Mayan ball court in Mesoamerica, it is also designed perfectly in terms of acoustics. You can hear a conversation, and even a whisper, 400 meters away. This structure is really incredible. It's got all these motifs of skulls all around it. Well, this platform was used to kind of warn off people. They would put bloody heads of their enemies threaded on poles, sometimes stacked 4 high, in this location. Now, in this location, there's no bodies buried here. It was simply something for display and offerings. As archaeologists dug up this site, they noticed that there was some figures of Shakmul, as well as some bone fragments, a broken ring from the Great Ball Court, and some other offerings that seemed to be organic in matter. Now, Chichen Itza was a huge site at one time. It was a huge city. It had roads, temples, markets, homes, and it was home to about 45,000 people. Today, Chichen Itza is visited by more than 2.7 million people each year. It's a very popular tour for most who are staying in Cancun or the Riviera Maya. Most people opt for a tour, which guides guests to the ruins and back to the resorts on an air-conditioned bus. These are perfectly fine for those who want to take a quick visit and don't want to venture out on their own. But you don't need a tour. You can just show up and buy tickets once you arrive. However, you will need to stand in two separate lines to pay for the federal tax and the state tax, as well as the admission. Be aware that the number of people allowed inside daily is limited, so you have to arrive early. Chichen Itza opens at 8 a.m., so usually you want to arrive about 20 minutes beforehand. Get in line, get your tickets, and off to the site you go. You'll be the first in, and you'll avoid all the large crowds. Now, you can pay by credit card, but I highly recommend you have enough pesos on hand to pay in cash. US dollars or any foreign currency is not accepted at the site. Now, if you're paying by credit card, it's been a recent option, but sometimes the machines are unreliable. So to guarantee entry and not have any issues, just bring pesos. The best way to visit the site is to rent a car. You can enjoy the site for as long as you wish. Hire a local guide or explore on your own. It is often the same price as a tour for a couple. That's including the rental car for the day, and your site visit and your tour guide. If you do explore on your own, you will travel here on a newer highway that is totally safe. You don't have to worry about that. And on the way, you can explore the smaller towns, villages, and other Mayan ruins nearby. Chichen Itza is an incredible site to visit, but there are equally impressive sites nearby, such as Ekbalam. So if you'd like, you can check out this video here, which is a 360 video tour of Ekbalam. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have any questions about visiting Chichen Itza, simply post them below. Until next time, happy travels.